cuffs are off, man. Get right, too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gon'.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, everybody? It's Marcus Grant from NFL Network.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
Marking nothing, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves.
What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta. This is Get Right Fantasy Network, and I'm here solo tonight, but it's all good because I'm not by myself when I'm with all you guys out there. So appreciate you for joining me here on this stream. We're grading a mock tonight, man. We got our mock draft tournament underway, so that's a lot of fun. We're gonna get in there and reveal or announce, I guess you would say, our top 6. That'll be moving on to the finale on September 1st, so we'll get more into that as we go. But I just wanted to say here, as of October 7th, we are exactly 30 days away from the start of real NFL football, man. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. So absolutely, Rafi, let's get the same girl pregnant tonight. I couldn't have rolled into that comment any better, but let's do it. We'll go family style. Wilson in the house as well, ambassador extraordinaire. How's it going, Wilson? What's up, man? So thanks for joining me here, guys, tonight. But yeah, man, I'm excited to get some football going. We have Lions versus the Chiefs on Thursday night. Can't wait, man. It's gonna be fun. Great game. Actually, really looking forward to that game. Of course, with the Lions playing there. Get to see, Amon-Ra, obviously get to see Mahomes. The new rookies, what are they going to do? Laporta, Rice. How does Sky Moore look? So I'm definitely looking forward to that game, September 7th. And more importantly, on that Sunday, my Niners open up against Pittsburgh on the road. But that should be a good game for us. So I'm excited for that. A couple other games I'm looking forward to that Sunday are going to be the Bengals-Browns. To me, that's going to be interesting, of course. Seeing, of course, Joe Burrow come back with Jamar Chase and see how their connection is looking going into their third year. Obviously, the Browns with Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper. A lot of pieces over there. Elijah Moore. We'll see how that offense looks. Nick Chubb possibly being the 3-down back over there, maybe working in the passing game from what we're kind of hearing through camp now, which we all kind of expected as well. I got my boy Wilson in here, of course, big Steelers fan. So we'll always be friends, but that day we'll definitely be rooting for different colors. But it's all good. It's all love in here. Get right, man. So I can't agree with you on that one, but I just hope at least it's a good game and nobody gets hurt, man. So let's do that. We got who else were we talking about there? So that was Bengals, Browns, Dolphins, Chargers is another one I'm looking forward to. Of course, Tua with his weapons over there. Of course, Hill, Waddle. A lot of fantasy implications will be in that game. Chargers on the other side, seeing how Herbert's going to bounce back. After kind of being drafted as a QB2 last year, going, mid-round, mid-fifth round now, somewhere in there. So that's going to be exciting, of course, with QJ, who I've drafted a ton of in best ball. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Of course, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, a lot of fantasy implications in that game. And another one to round off week 1. Couldn't really do it in any better style. You get Josh Allen and the Bills at the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson. So I think that's going to be an exciting game as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Only one Monday Night Football game week 1, but then week 2 and week 3 will be a doubleheader. So make sure you guys check that out. We're going to get a lot of football right away. So it should be a lot of fun, man. So without any further ado, of course, I do want to thank our sponsor, man. underdogfantasy.com. For those of you guys who don't know, it's a best ball platform where you can go in, draft your team. It's season long. Basically, you don't have to, let me get that banner off. You don't have to really manage it at all. There's no trades, no waivers. You're not setting any lineups. It's going to automatically set the best team for you every week. So you just go in there, apply what you're applying here on Get Right to those drafts, man. Draft a nice team and, get in that Best Ball Mania 4, only a $25 entry. And you have a chance they're making 3 millionaires, first, second, and third place, 3 million, 2 million, and 1 million. So again, check out the link in the description. And when you do, make sure you use that promo code Get Right, because when you make that first deposit, it will, or they will, match it dollar for dollar up to $100. So 100% deposit match there when you use that promo code Get Right. So you can use it pretty much in all states except for these guys here. So unfortunately, those in Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Idaho, Iowa, Louisiana, Michigan, Montana, Nevada, Ontario, Canada, but all other Canada's okay, and Washington State. So unfortunately, you guys not yet, but they're definitely working on it. It's a lot more that they had this year than they did last year. So again, check us out. You can catch some of our best ball mocks here as well. And of course, our mock tournament will be based on the Underdog best ball settings. So we'll definitely get into that there. So what else, man, do we got here for you tonight? Just want to get in some news and notes real quick. Of course, with training camp going on, not really too much happened here over the weekend. But we're kind of picking up, things with Javonte Williams coming back. Maybe I have to change my tune a little bit here on Javonte Williams, but just me personally, I'm probably still fading him for the most part. If he's going to be the first guy since Adrian Peterson, or maybe the guy that sets the new trend, I'm just not one of those guys to be able to do that. Like I said, if you want to take him as your RB3, that's the soonest I'm willing to take him on my team. I definitely want to get, 2 running backs, at least 2, if not 3 receivers out of the way first. And you could get them there earlier in the season if you guys did do your redraft early. But for the most part, I just think there's so many other options out there right now. Maybe not with his potential ceiling, but it is still kind of considered a split backfield there with P. Ryan. So I'm just, I'm not willing to take him as my just full on RB2, set it and forget it type guy. But we'll get into that more here. We kind of talked about it earlier. Nick Chubb, they're just saying, he's definitely a weapon in the passing game. He just didn't really get a lot of opportunities while Kareem Hunt was there occupying that role. I believe it was today that Jerome Ford went down in practice today with the right hamstring injury. Still early, again, like we said, we're 30 days from the start of the season. So hopefully he'll be all right. But definitely, I know I've drafted a lot of them in best ball as well. But it's not great to have him starting off on the with a hamstring injury that could just linger throughout the year. You have the Dolphins running back Devon Achane. He didn't suit up this weekend for practice with an undisclosed injury. Just said he's considered day to day. So of course, these running backs, it's hard, which is why I like just going hero RB. Get strong everywhere else. Receivers went down, Cup went down last year, Chase went down last year for a while. So they're not guarantees, but as far as replacement value, you can find guys off the wire, your Jerick McKinnons and those type of guys as you're managing your team through the year to be able to kind of get you by in that RB2 spot. So, and then speaking of Kareem Hunt, he did go visit the Saints over there today. We'll see what happens. They obviously got a loaded, crowded backfield over there. But with, Kareem Hunt, with Alvin Kamara having his 3-game suspension, they just might be looking for some more depth there. Especially in the pass catching type role. And, Keandre Miller's been hurt as well. So, that could be it. So, just like Wilson said here, definitely please hit that like and subscribe button, man. We're so close to hitting 1,000. I believe we hit the 940 mark today. You kind of go up and down here and there. But as of right now, I believe it's at 940. So if we could just get one more subscriber this show, that'd be great. We'll keep on chugging along, man. And appreciate all the support. If you're already a subscriber, just hit that like button for us. It helps just as much as subscribe. So do that for us, and it'll definitely help us out. So appreciate that, Wilson. Thanks for queuing me up there while I'm here by myself. Got a lot going on from the production side and running the show side. So, like I said, man, we're here tonight. If you guys do have any questions while you're out there, man, throw them out. Whatever it is, redraft, dynasty. I'll answer the best of my ability. If you have any questions there, keepers, we got drafts maybe starting up here soon. So again, any questions that you guys might have, definitely throw them my way. Be happy to answer them. Don't feel like you're interrupting or anything. Always here to answer your guys' questions first and foremost. So I guess we'll get into it, man. We're going to be, or not I guess it's just me today, going to be grading or at least announcing our top 6. We're just going to start with Team 6 all the way up to Team 1 and reveal who those top 3 that will be moving on, as well as the 4 alternates, just in case these 3 can't make it September 1st. We will have somebody there to take their spot. So just to kind of explain, what the tournament is, we're basically running mocks Monday through Friday every week for the next 4 weeks, or we've already done one, so we're in week 2 now. So next week and then the following week, we're going to take the top 3 from each 4 of those mocks to create a top 12 for that week, which will all advance to the semifinal round. That round will be live streamed like it was last Friday. We'll go through those teams here tonight. Like I said, we'll announce the winners that will move on to the September 1st finale. Basically, we're going to do that for 4 consecutive nights to form the, I guess you'd say, Elite 12 or the Final 12. And basically, those are the best of the best drafters that we have here in Get Right Nation. So our top 12, we have 48 different people mocking every week, only 1 entry per week. So to make it here is definitely an accomplishment. It is, of course, all subjective. We do a consensus top 6. So we're going to go through those 6 today here. Some of them may not have even made my top 6, or maybe I had them ranked 6 when they're the number 1 team. It definitely goes that way when you guys see the back end here. But either way, it's just to have a lot of fun so that we can get you guys out here, get some good competitive mocks. We get some good folks in here that, know what they're doing. And the whole goal, of course, is to help you prepare for your real drafts that you have coming up here over the next few weeks. So just like Tim said here from our fellow affiliate channel, the Fantasy Frontline, he said even if I don't win, it's still solid prep for his home league. So definitely some great competition in there, man. Thank everybody for coming out and giving us their time. And like I said, it's a $0 entry for you guys to get in there, and your chance to win $50 cash. So there's a link down in the description to the lobbies. But more importantly, if you want to get in one, just DM me, hit me up. I'll send you a direct link. This week is already full. I have a standby list right now of I think 5 people or so. So if you want to get on standby, if you didn't happen to get in this week, again, just let me know, and we'll come back and see you guys next week. Hopefully you can get in there. Those lobbies are open now, so make sure you get in there and check it out. So I guess that's enough said. We know why people are here, man. They want to know if they advanced or not. So let me pull up the screen here. We'll pull up the mock draft from Friday. So this is a semifinal round. Shout out to the guys that came out here on Friday with us in the 1 spot, even though he kind of left already. You had Lock It Up. Here in the 2 spot, you had the guy over here, Tim from Fantasy Frontline. Here in the 2 spot, you had John JWN 71 in the 3. You had Ryan Johnson, who I know now since he got in the stream on Friday, here drafting out of the 4 spot. You have Rafi, one of our ambassadors here, drafting out of the 5 spot. Awesome Eckler, new to the channel. Appreciate you, who got Eckler in the 6. So that was pretty awesome. Shout out to him here in the 6 spot. You got Nick Rock, also new to Get Right, but coming in here for our mocks. In the 7 spot, you got Kadesh, who did well, but unfortunately he got disqualified because he auto-drafted the bottom half of his team. So basically you can only, if you auto-draft 2 picks consecutively, then it's an automatic disqualification. So Kadesh, it's okay. It's no hate. Just jump back in this week or next week and have a chance to get back there. You already made it once, so good chances you can make it back there again. We got Wilson, Ambassador Extraordinaire here, drafting out of the 8 spot here. You have BroCal, another ambassador of the channel, drafting here out of the 10 spot. You have Kuda Cash drafting here out of the 11, and I am Iron Man. I am Iron Man 7 drafting here out of the 12. So you guys will notice we had what 1, 2, 3 ambassadors and then an affiliate channel here. It's because technically they kind of have an advantage. They've been watching us for a long time. They know the guys that we like. They know the judges who are grading. They've been with us for a couple years already. So again, they're going to get the advantage, but that doesn't mean you can't keep watching us now. Listen to kind of what we're saying on how we like these teams or don't like the teams. And the goal isn't to just prove us wrong, right? The goal is to basically come out and understand who's judging it, right? Like this is our game. This is a tournament we put together here at Get Right. So if you guys watch the channel and know our takes and check out our rankings, you're gonna know who you like and don't like. And just draft a team that will get you to advance. The time to really put your emphasis on it, and maybe if you disagree with some of our takes, like I said, I'm putting my money where your mouth is. So you come out here, take my money, $50 cash to winner take all. It's going to be a best ball draft on September 1st. So that's when you draft the team that you want, not necessarily the team that you want to advance you. So might be a little complicated, but just trying to help you guys understand, because we're not going to actually be grading it. We're going to actually play that final out. And at the end of the year, the winner is going to take home that $50 cash and maybe some other stuff, maybe Get Right t-shirt, some things like that, that we'll throw in here throughout the year. So, again, without any further ado, again, we probably won't be here too long tonight since it's just me, and I can only take so long of me talking, even though, I don't mind. But we'll get into it, man. So let's start it off, I guess, like this with the number 6 team. It is one of our ambassadors that made number 6, so he will be one of the alternates for this league. Personally, for his team, he did make my top 6. I actually had him as my 5th ranked team. And we have Brokow here drafting out of the 10 spot, coming in with 6th place with his team here. So he goes with the Kelsey Mahomes stack, follows it with Najee, Aaron Jones. His wide receiver room is Christian Kirk, Tyler Lockett, gets his RB3 and Rashad White here in the 7th, followed by Brandon Cooks, Elijah Moore, Javonte Williams. Down at his wide receiver 5, gets one of my favorites, Rashee Rice, here in the, I believe, in the 11th. Then goes Tyler Boyd, grabs Jeff Wilson, and then finishes it out with Chase Brown. So for me personally, just, little weak, receiver room, but strong basically everywhere else. I do like his number 1 and number 2 guys, but I like them more as wide receiver 3-4s, which again is why he came in 5th on my list, but definitely something I could work with. Takes an upside lotto ticket shot here with Javonte Williams. Cooks and Elijah Moore could be solid there in their respective offenses, attached to, pretty good mid to upper tier type quarterbacks. So that's what I'm looking for. Takes another long shot here, or not long shot, but another lotto ticket in Rashee Rice, who you guys know I'm big on this year. I don't know why, just like it. Anyone attached to Mahomes is interesting to me. So he gets that triple stack with Kelsey Mahomes and Rashee Rice. And then gets Tyler Boyd, who we all know is kind of that, if Chase or Higgins goes down, he's an easy plug and play wide receiver 3 flex type guy, who you're confident, starting pretty much any week. Grabs, 2 other running backs, down here. I like the, Chase Brown pick, just in case anything were to happen with Mixon and his legal issues. And Jeff Wilson, I could take or leave. It's probably the one pick I'm not as big on. But overall, like I said, came in as my 5th ranked team and the consensus 6th ranked team. So congratulations. I still didn't officially make it to the finale. Would need a couple people that, aren't able to make it for you to get in. But at least you're there, top 6 Brokow. So nice job. Those Kelsey builds are tough to, get to work. So to come in here and still rank 5th for me, just kind of shows you, if you do it right, you can. But again, you're going to kind of be hurting that wide receiver room. Some will say, of course, Kelsey basically is your wide receiver 1, with Kirk and Lockett as your 2 and 3. And you got Cooks, Moore, Javonte, Rice, Boyd, or even one of these other running backs between Rashad White or, Wilson or Brown if they hit. to throw in that flex spot. So overall, not bad. And, not really too much else you could do different unless you kind of turned it more into a hero RB and grabs, someone like Debo or D Hop, someone like that there. But again, I'm still not too comfortable with one of them as my wide receiver one, maybe Hopkins. But for the most part, I think you pretty much did what you had to do based on how the draft unfolded. So good job, Brokow, 6th place. Congratulations. So with the 5th place team here, also as one of the alternates for our September 1st, in case one of the top 3 don't make it in, you have a guy here who came in 1st place in his qualifier mock, a guy that's basically drafted teams that I pretty much like. I could, if I had to pick not one person, there's a lot of you guys that I feel could pick my type of team. But this guy came out and did just a really nice, solid job with his team. Liked a lot of the specific players he got. A couple picks towards the end that are, could go either way, but I don't mind. People have, different tastes. And that's going to be Kuda Cash here, drafting out of the 11th spot. So congratulations, fifth ranked team. Personally, for me, it was my number one team. He came in number one for me. Not quite as high on my co-host list, but still got himself there into 5th place here. So he will be one of those alternates. So congratulations. Just to recap his team in the first round at the 111, he goes Nick Chubb, followed by 3 straight receivers and Amon-Ra St. Brown, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper. So love that wide receiver room with a nice hero RB build. He goes Ken Walker with his RB2 here. And I can't argue with that. Obviously, we're worried about the groin, of course. Zach Charbonnet looks like he's getting ready to return to practice. Still unsure about Walker, but we are, 4 weeks or so out still from the start of the season. So we'll see how if it'll linger in, through the season or not. But as an RB2, I do like it. He grabs the tight end 3 overall here at consensus at TJ Hawkinson. So I think that's a nice pick. His flex or wide receiver 4, Jordan Addison, who you guys know I'm big on as well. Then he follows that up with 2 straight running backs in James Cook and Jamal Williams here, I believe in the 8th and 9th. And then grabs his quarterback here, Tua, in the 10th. Obviously, there's some potential health risk and concern with him. But for me, I think he's really no more, and from what you hear, no more susceptible to a concussion than anyone else. Granted, maybe if he gets it knocked to the ground, somebody else may not get a concussion, but maybe he will. But again, you got, I believe, Tunsil back over there now. So hopefully, or I'm sorry, not Tunsil, but Armstead back over there now. So hopefully he's going to keep him upright. And, the weapons this guy has, he has, 5,000, 30 plus touchdown, upside easily with the way they run this offense and the guys literally that are running in this offense. So I like that pick. Maybe you want to follow that up with a Goff or a Geno or, somebody like that after. But in a 1 QB, 12 team league, there's going to be QBs on the bench that you can, grab. So for the most part, I can't argue with it. I'm not the biggest Mingo and Mooney fans as of right now. But again, they are bench type guys who could, potentially hit. I just don't quite see the upside with Mooney, of course, with DJ Moore there now. And in regards to the reason I don't draft Mingo has nothing to do with Mingo. I just personally would rather take DJ Chark a few rounds later. Wilson grabbed him here actually in the 12th. So DJ Chark has been kind of creeping up draft boards. He was kind of undrafted there for a while, or, I can get him past round 15, 16 in a best ball league. But he's definitely, shooting up those draft boards now. But that's kind of the piece of the Carolina wide receiver room that I choose to get a little later in drafts versus grabbing Mingo ahead. And then, follows it up with TJ Spears, the handcuff, of course, to Derrick Henry. So if he were to go down, he would be the next man up. And then you get Curtis Samuel here to round it all out, which is a nice little upside, little pick there at the end. And so yeah. So again, to me, it was one of my favorite teams. A lot of these guys I have on teams I build. So I again, my number one ranked team, but unfortunately came in as the fifth ranked team. So I tried Kutta, I really did, but unfortunately, that's way the cookie crumbles sometime, man. So again, congratulations. Definitely come out, grab a spot next week. I don't want to guarantee anything, but I know you draft teams I like. So you just keep doing what you're doing, and maybe these co-hosts of mine will come around a little bit on your builds, man. But I like them. So we'll move on here. So that was fifth. So now we're running up to our first alternate. This would be the first guy who comes in case someone can't make it. So our first alternate, aka fourth place in here, is the guy drafting out of the 12 spot. I am Iron Man. I believe he used to be Solano, was his name there. But congratulations, man, fourth place here in the semifinal round. His team, he started off in the 12 spot by double tapping wide receiver with Stephon Diggs, CD Lamb. He gets Josh Allen to fall to him here at the 301. So that was a good value here as the last quarterback in that tier taken off the board. He then gets Joe Mixon on the backside of that turn. Comes back around, grabs his RB2 and Cam Akers. So I do like that pairing there. Grabs his wide receiver 3 and Mike Williams, wide receiver 4 and Treylon Burks right after that. Grabs his tight end and Pat Fairmouth, so still very solid. Grabs Devon Achane, who we mentioned earlier, got a little hurt today or over the weekend, but we'll see how he does. Again, fast guy, gadgety, could be flex worthy in that offense if they do, keep tending to put up a lot of points and involve him. But of course, it is a little bit of a crowded backfield and one of the top landing spots or preferred spots for Dalvin Cook. So we'll see how that, all comes along. Grabs a guy who I'm not completely down on yet. Still, I see his upside with the potential with Lamar Jackson and Rashad Bateman. So, I still think he has an opportunity to be the wide receiver 1 there if he can just get healthy. But we've seen it happen with guys like Michael Thomas, and just sometimes you just can't stay healthy. So, we'll see how that goes. He grabs Raheem Mostert, so he gets, that he wants one of the guys in the Miami backfield. So looks like that might be a backfield he's targeting. Then he gets the Chigakonkwo here as his tight end 2, followed by an upside shot here in Romeo Dobbs, who's been impressing in camp, and then rounds it out with a handcuff here in Chuba Hubbard to back up Miles Sanders there in case something were to happen to Sanders. He'll have Chuba down here waiting. So overall, fourth place team consensus for me. I guess for whatever reason, I like some other teams a little more than his. I'm looking at it now. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't know why. Maybe I think it was kind of the Mike Williams and then the A-Chain, Mostert taking a second tight end in a redraft, and then just this Chuba Hubbard pick at the end. Just not really a guy you're looking to, because we've seen what happens. I mean, he was decent, for a couple weeks, I guess, if Sanders were to go down. But just, again, I'm not feeling it. There's other guys I would kind of maybe take a chance on, or at least part of different offenses, like a Chase Brown, who's at least, in that Cincinnati offense, should something happen to Mixon. Plus, with his legal issues, there's a chance he might, come out. And then the Travion Williams injury. So he's kind of really locked in that RB2 spot, unless they were to, of course, go out and sign someone else. That's always a risk, especially with all these great, running backs available right now. So, so congratulations for that, fourth place. And sorry you didn't make my top 6, but you made the consensus top 4. So good for you. What do I know, right? I'm just one guy over here. We got Drunk Squidward saying, "What's up? How's it going, Squidward? Hopefully we can get you in one of these, man." We got him asking a question: who would you rather have, Chuba Hubbard or MVS on a dynasty team? Oh man, that's tough, man. If you're kind of contending like right now, maybe I guess MVS, just because again he's attached to Mahomes, but I mean really neither. Tim's just saying MVS, so he's probably kind of thinking the same thing I am. I just, I don't think Chuba's that guy. We would have seen it. They wouldn't went out and spent money on Miles Sanders and gave him the job there. They see him in practice and stuff every day. some guys are just backup guys, which is fine. That's a role you got to play. But MVS, if he ever does decide to catch the ball, maybe he's more comfortable here in this offense, or just the weekly chance. I feel comfortable just kind of throwing him in for a week on a spot start, during bye weeks or something like that. Especially if you're just in a deep bench. None of these guys I'm sure are going in your starting lineup. So if I was going to hold somebody, I'd hold MVS on that one. So, is what it is. And so we got a couple people agreeing MVS. Yeah. You got John in here saying MVS as well. And yeah, basically saying because I'm Mahomes, and that's the reason. So I think we're all in agreement, there. It's pretty gross either way, but it's still there. We got the boy Jeezy in the house. What's up, Jeezy? We got Juan in here saying, what up? Your boy Jeezy checking in. What did you miss? Not too much. Just went through the basic stuff, Underdog promo, of course. Use that promo code, get right. Got to pay the bills in here. And then we just did the recap for the top alternates, places 4 through 6, and we're just about to announce the top 3 right now. That'll be moving on to the September 1st finale. If they're already in a mock this week, they can jump out of it, because we won't need them to mock because they've already made it to the dance. But either way, grab your spots if you haven't already. The link's down there in the description. And if you're watching right now, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, make sure you hit that like button. It's just as good for us. We're getting close to 1,000 subs, man. Appreciate you guys out there. And Get Right Nation. We know we got all of our degenerates out there, man. Can't thank you guys enough for helping us grow here in our 3rd year. So again, just keep hitting that like and subscribe button, man. We appreciate everything you do for our ambassadors. To everyone else watching, those who are in the chat, continue, give us those views. We all appreciate it in whatever capacity you deliver here. But I got to give my boy Jeezy a shout out to his ACG Veterans Invitational charity league he runs every year. The man's putting this whole thing together, winning great prizes, signed memorabilia, things like that. It's only a $10 donation. We're in the middle of drafting right now. Myself, Dustin are both in the league. A couple other folks from Get Right are in there as well. So it's going to be really fun. Tim's in there as well too. So I'm looking forward to it. It's my first year, and I feel like I'm drafting a good one. So we'll see how it all turns out, man. But happy to be in it. His charity that he's partnered with this year is the Canines for Warriors, I believe it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeezy. But basically, they help train and give service dogs companions for the veterans that come back that are dealing with PTSD, depression, anxiety, all those type of things. So great therapy dogs, man. So it's a great cause. I'm happy to be a part of it. Glad I was able to get in this year. Again, only a $10 donation, and real prizes and stuff that you can win. And just more importantly, going to a great cause and playing with a great group of guys, man. So that's what it's all about, the community. So hopefully we can blow this thing up with a lot of Get Right folks next year and really make that thing happen, GZ. So again, appreciate what you do, throwing all that together. We were just texting back and forth earlier. It's saying running a mock tournament, is hard, let alone running a league like that. I couldn't imagine, man. So shout out to you, tip my hat, trying to keep it all together. Cause I'm doing the same thing right now in the tournament. But I couldn't imagine if it was, an actual league like that, having to manage all the drafts and divisions and stuff. So again, big shout out to you. All right, man. So we got Rafi in the house. He's saying he wouldn't be thrilled about starting either. So I don't think we're starting him. I just think, it's in Dynasty. So just kind of, do what we have. Mr. Bakes a lot here says Tajay Spears is decent. He doesn't have an ACL in one of his knees. Yes, I did hear that. Because of so many college injuries, I can see them signing a free agent running back soon. Now that Hassan Haskins is out, so definitely an opportunity. The problem is they have a tank back there as an RB1 already. But you could definitely use some depth. I wouldn't be surprised if they do bring another guy. With that Hassan Haskins unfortunate situation there. So appreciate that, Mr. Bakes, a lot, and thanks for showing up tonight, man. Really appreciate it. So again, you guys got any questions, comments, anything you guys want to contribute? Again, it's just me here tonight, so it's better when I'm here with all you guys. So again, anything you guys have to say, whether you agree with me, don't agree with me, either way, let's talk about it. That's what we're here for, man. Show by the people for the people. So let's get it done. Jeezy saying I nailed it. So the 101 gang, and I love you, man. So yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate what you do. And both he and I had 101 this year and couldn't have drafted two probably completely different teams, I'm sure. We always draft different, man, but you take different roads to get to the same place, and that's to be holding that championship at the end of the year. So however you got to get there, we're no strangers. We're no strangers to that checkered flag, man. So we just might take different paths every once in a while. But I love you, bro. Keep it up, man. Let's see. Drunk Twitter said, we starting those Sunday morning shows again next month with Mike? Absolutely. I know Classics. Looking forward to it, man. You guys will be able to check in what we do our start sit show every Monday. He starts at 8:30 our time. I don't know whatever time that is on the East Coast. What is that? 11:30. Whenever you guys' games start over there. But he gets you going early. He'll break down all the actives, inactives, as it's happening live. So you can make those last minute start sit decisions when you're trying to set your lineup. Make sure you guys come check us out. Drop your questions in the chat. Classical is here every Sunday. It's early for me, and I'm setting lineups and stuff too. For like I think I'm in 15 or so, going to be in 15 leagues this year. So I like it when I get to go on there because he's running that show, and about 15, 20 minutes till I just kind of check out, and I'm starting to set all my lineups based on everything we're talking about. But I still like going in there, answering the questions, and it's cool being able to set lineups with you guys, so you guys can see what we do. And the decisions we're making. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah. So we'll definitely be back with that. He will be here Sunday the 10th. Again, that's 8:30 Pacific, 9, 10, 11:30 Eastern. And what is that? 10:30, or he might even go earlier. He might go 8 o'clock. So either way, he'll be here for sure. All right. So Tim says, yeah, he's for sure taking the dub this year in GZ's league. So he got that. So it's all good. Hearing good things about Spears in camp, though, is what Tim was saying about Tajay Spears. Who else we got here? Can you see Amon-Ra finishing top 5 wide receivers this season? Definitely. I mean, that's why you're seeing him kind of being drafted there at that 1-2 turn. I think that's definitely a spot for him. I wasn't as big on him heading into last year just because I thought maybe, his end of his rookie year was a little fluky, but he came in, picked up basically right where he left off. I don't think you can, argue with it right now. Again, he was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th wide receiver off the board here in this mock. And I think that's definitely a good spot for him. I can't really argue. I mean, if anything, maybe you could put him in front of Lamb. Maybe if you want to put him in front of Cup just because of the quarterback and, potential injury concerns with him dealing with that hamstring right now. I don't think you put him in front of Chase Hill, Brown, possibly because of Devonta. Maybe they kind of cannibalize each other. So, I mean, you got Stephon Diggs, who I'd be worried about really. But I think, outside of Jefferson, Chase Hill, and Diggs, I think Amon-Ra could sneak in at that 5th spot if some other things kind of went, a little awry. You would need, obviously, Devontae Adams to kind of fall off and not be there, with Jimmy G. And you would need the Dak Lamb connection to not work out either, I think. But, hey, those are things that could potentially happen. So I'm big on Amon-Ra this year. I have a couple shares of him in Dynasty, and I have no problem taking him on that 1-2 turn. So great question. Squidward says, where do you see Stephon Diggs finishing this year with a healthy Josh Allen? So I kind of just answered that. So I could see him, in that top 5 as well. Again, right behind Jefferson, Chase Hill, and Diggs. Honestly, if he wasn't playing like so many bad weather games, like if he was on the Chargers, like if Josh Allen and him were on the Chargers and they didn't have to deal with snow and craziness all the time, I would easily say he could be, top 3. But I don't think they're what is it? Their playoff schedule, so weeks 15, 16, 17, aren't great to me. So I've kind of, let me see here. That's why, like, when I have the option to pick Allen or Mahomes, I just like Mahomes' weeks 15, 16, 17 better. So where are we at? Buffalo Bills, 15, 16, 17. So they play at Chargers, or I'm sorry, they play home against Dallas. Tough defense, and going to be a home game, late in the year. Could potentially be bad weather. Week 16 is not bad. They're going to be at the Chargers, and that should be a nice shootout. So for your semifinal round, that's not a bad matchup at all. They're coming out to the West Coast, and just like I said, if he was on the Chargers, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But then that Week 17 championship game, man, is at home against New England, and that's just always an ugly, ugly game. We know the win game from, a while back where Mac Jones didn't even, I think he attempted only 3 passes. So it's just, that the potential weather issues there are, the only thing really holding me back, from Diggs. But during the year, you're going to say like Diggs is, from week to week, he's going to be a top 5 finisher in my opinion. So it's just that playoff run is when you're splitting the differences on those first round picks, that's why he's kind of on the back end of those guys for me. So hope that answered your question there. I appreciate it. And who else we got here? Jeezy saying you got to get Tycoon in some of these rankings shown. He knows his ball. Yeah, he definitely does. We got to get him in here. I've been working on trying to get him on here. He has an actual life, unlike me. No, I mean I got a good life, but I live and breathe this stuff. So he can't get on as often, but definitely get him in here, man. He's been on here before. He's a great guest to have, man. For those of you guys who don't know, make sure you guys go check out the Fantasy Boardroom. He's probably going to be getting his content going soon. But if anything, I want to get him in here as, either just as a guest. But what he really likes doing is the prop bets and things like that. He's all over that the betting stuff. So yeah, and he's pretty good at it. So there you go. And yeah, we got Dustin in the house. What's up, Dustin? There you go, Wilson. We have a Dustin sighting for you. When you ask, you shall receive. And he's saying, yeah, we've been trying to get Tycoon on for years. So we've been trying to make him part of Get Right here for a long time, just so you guys know. But nothing changes, man. Still a great friend of the show. Have him on all the time, like we said, and can't get enough of him. So great guy. If you guys have any questions, you can drop him in the Get Right private sleeper channel. And he's definitely one of the first ones that comes to help answer your questions and just likes talking ball, all the time. So big shout out to Tycoon there. Let's see. Tim says 12-team Superflex, middle of the pack team, late 24 first or Kenny Two Gloves. So 12-team Superflex, middle of the pack team, late 24 first for Kenny Two Gloves. I might, just because, again, that late pick in Superflex, you're probably not getting a quarterback. So to be able to get a quarterback with the first round pick, a guy that we've seen play, has decent weapons, is in a decent offense with some stability there at the head coach and things like that, just in the organization. He's from the area. I believe he went to Pitt. I think they're invested in this guy and want to see him get better. Pickens is good. I know you love Deontay Johnson. I've been big on him too. Not so much this year, but last year I was definitely tooting his horn, and then he, no touchdown me, but he's definitely on board for some touchdown regression. And again, just, there's no question with him coming in the start of this year. It did take Trevor Lawrence, granted, he had the Urban Meyer situation over there, but it took him a couple years to get going as well. So I think Kenny has some potential. The two gloves, having the small hands, playing in Pittsburgh, it's not great. Maybe I'd rather take that first and package it with something else to try to get, someone else there. But as far as like one of these younger QBs for a late first, I don't hate it, in a 12-team Superflex. The fact that you can just get your hands on a quarterback, isn't bad. And then, like you said, you're middle of the pack right now. So, maybe you take it and you can, someone's QB goes down middle of the year and you can get that first back plus more, just because someone needs a quarterback. And, especially if he's starting to ball out, or if you think it's kind of fluky when he's balling out, just gets a nice run of teams or something like that. But, I'd just wait till after the week 1 game. Maybe, after he plays my Niners, maybe his value goes down a little bit and you can get him, a little bit cheaper, but I don't hate it. I don't think it's a bad, again, if for sure it's going to be, late, because you're pretty much not getting a quarterback with, of his at least value playing football right now with his ability, I guess you would say. So is what it is, man. I would make it happen. What else we got here? You got to buy a mustache wax for Tycoon. That's hilarious. Maybe that's what I'll get him on. We'll have to find a sponsor for him. So Randy Miller is just in here saying great points about the weather over there. When I was talking about Josh Allen. So appreciate that. These are the kind of weird things that I stay up thinking about all night. Who else do we got here? Here we go. Mr. Bakesalog says, how are you on Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper? You would take them in a 3-4 turn instead of Debo and McLaurin. London, or even Watson for that matter. So honestly, yeah, just because of the quarterbacks that they're attached to, all three of those guys, Debo, McLaurin, London, and Watson, all have quarterbacks that may or may not finish the year for their respective teams. I mean, probably Watson is probably the most, secure with most likely his quarterback playing the entire year, just because the backup quarterbacks for Green Bay, I couldn't even tell you who they are. I saw a list of them the other day and I was like, who are those guys? I've never even heard of them for my part. So I think his job's pretty secure there. But, we don't know where we're going to get out of Debo. We don't know where we're going to get out of McLaurin. We don't know where we're going to get out of London just because of that quarterback play. I'm not doubting the talent one bit. And you can even say, based on their youthfulness, they're actually more athletic or more quote unquote talented than these guys. But, for in a redraft, give me Allen, give me Cooper. For this year, for 1 year, you're hoping they stay healthy, which Cooper pretty much has. Allen obviously is the question mark as he's gotten older, but like I said, plays in good weather, plays in domes, is attached to Herbert, who I think can go for 5,000 yards this year, and upwards of 35 plus touchdowns. So I just want a piece of it. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But at least, if I'm going out swinging, and give me guys that are in just good situations, versus taking a chance on guys where, I don't quite know, where it's going to be. And again, maybe you can trade for, one of those guys later and still have them on your team. The reason I don't like taking Debo that early is because I'd rather get Ayuk a few rounds later, as you guys will hear me say a lot. Same thing with McLaurin. I'd much rather grab Dotson a little later for less draft stock that you'd have to put into it and still get a piece of that offense and that talent. In regards to London, I mean, I'll kind of take him or leave him. At that point, there's probably other guys I'm usually targeting in my builds. I don't really find myself drafting a lot of London, but not because I don't like him. And Watson, I've been known to draft here or there. If falls to me kind of like that wide receiver 3, ideally as a flex, that's where I'd really like him. Most likely not going to go there in your home leagues, but for me, he's out of the 3 and where he kind of goes that I've seen myself draft more than the other 3, if that helps. So I appreciate it. Good comment. And yeah, keep it coming. Yeah, we're tampering with Tycoon for sure. So yeah, we apologize for that, but we love you, man. Randy in here saying, thinking about going running back this year. ESPN has good receivers, ranked low. So yeah, I mean, you definitely can go with that double hero RB build. You'll see one of our guys here, Wilson, went 2 running backs right out of the gate, and Barkley and Henry. Still gets Metcalf, Debo, and Watson, 2 of those guys you were kind of talking about earlier, or Big Salot was talking about earlier. So, you're going to have to take the risk on those type of guys if you want to have those type of, top 2 running backs there. And speaking of schedules over there, Randy, in regards to weather, but more importantly, in regards to opponents, I really like Henry this year, especially where he's going. If you can get him, he's starting to creep back up to this mid second, but I liked him more when you're getting him at late second round, because he plays Houston twice, man, in the playoffs. So I'll take that. I mean, doesn't he go for 200 yards every time he plays Houston? So yeah, I'll take it. So he gets him at home week 15, then they go play Seattle week 16, and then back, and then he'll play at Houston in week 17 in a dome. So again, dome, no weather. Derrick Henry is like an RB2 that I love targeting. I have him on my Scott Fishbowl team. And I would be happy to take him in the late second if I can get my hands on him in other places. So yeah, Derrick Henry, the tank. I'll for sure take him, the king. Let's see. Would I take Chubb or Pollard in PPR? Give me Chubb still. Even with the upside, I'll just take Chubb. So yeah. So Wilson saying the GOAT is in the house. What up, Dustin? So how's it going, man? Rafi saying I like Cooper, but I think Elijah Moore may outplay him this year. One of those gut feelings. Yeah, it also could be some other things going on. Maybe ate too many, pocket dogs over there, Rafi, to think Elijah Moore is gonna outplay Cooper, man. Go look at Cooper's. All right, I got to do this. And I used to not be great on Cooper, man. But you look at the statistics, man. You look at where he's finishing, and you can't argue with it. So, where is it? 2022. I mean, he finished as wide receiver 10 last year, and that was with Jacoby Brissett and Deshaun Watson that hadn't played football in like two years. I mean, with the upside with that Deshaun can bring, the value that you're getting Cooper for literally a top 12 wide receiver, who's had several, top 20 finishes. I mean, I just don't see why that's an issue. And he's only missed 2 games. So he played all 17 games last year, maybe limped through a couple of them, but played all 17, finished as your wide receiver 10, wide receiver 8 in standard, 10 in PPR. 2021, he played 15 games in Dallas. Left a lot of them, kind of came up limping on it seemed like more, but still officially only missed 2 games. He did finish as a PPR wide receiver 27. Just outside a wide receiver 2, low end wide receiver 2, high end wide receiver 3. And that's kind of been like one of his first finishes or worst finishes. In Dallas, he had always been a top 20 wide receiver, 19, 10, and 15. And also only missed no more than 2 games each year in Dallas. So he played at least 15 in two of them and played 16 in the other for the 4 years he was there. So, and I don't even think we had the 17 games those 2 years. So he basically only missed 1 game actually there. So I think because he kind of leaves those games hurt, or you see him on the sideline stretching out his hammy or with the tennis ball or whatever, kind of gets in your head that maybe he's missing games or missing time. But he's out there, and when he's out there, he's usually producing. So again, coming off a 78 catch, again, catches were low. Again, Brissett and a rusty Deshaun, but still had 132 targets, 1,160 yards and 9 touchdowns. So maybe those touchdowns go up. Maybe you can creep into those 1,300 yards and get closer to those 100 catches on those, same 132 targets. And who's challenging him? Like I said, maybe Elijah Moore, but Donovan Peoples-Jones. They got Cedric. They just drafted Cedric Tillman. I mean, so maybe there's people there. Kareem Hunt's gone. There's targets that are going to be had. So Cooper is definitely someone I've been targeting this year for sure. So there you go. What's up, Kish? How's it going, man? Hopefully, you guys are all liked and subscribed here. He says, you think Ridley's a risky pick with his current ADP? Depending on how you define current, because I was getting him as like wide receiver 3 on best ball. What was that? Maybe fifth, 6th round. I don't want to say I was getting him because it wasn't like I was necessarily targeting him. Because just like I said a little while back, if you happen to be listening, but what you'll hear me say a lot when it comes to these wide receiver rooms, I would just much rather take Christian Kirk, later. I think he's going to have around the same targets, working out of the slot there, attached to the same quarterback in the same situation. And he wasn't off of football for a year and a half when he was dealing with mental health issues and then the whole gambling suspension situation. So granted, it's not an injury, but we've seen in Deshaun going from an elite person to not playing in the NFL for a couple years could, slow you down, so to speak. But of course, we all saw the same clip of him literally shooting out of a cannon. Either Deadzone was going half-ass and we didn't really realize, and then Ridley was just, pumped to be out there, or he's just that much faster than Zay Jones. In all reality, that just made me not want to draft Zay Jones more than anything. I won't even take like a late flyer on him, more so than I'm taking Ridley a lot earlier because of that video. So don't get me wrong. I don't think he's a bad play. I think he could be one of those, if you do decide to kind of go hero RB or double hero RB build, if you can get Ridley as your number 1, he did go here at the 3.5 to Rafi. To me, it's not a bad, not a bad 1. Again, I'd like him more as a 2 or 3 if you can somehow sneak it. But just with the hype with him building up now, over these next couple weeks, he's going to be a 3rd round pick. I don't think there's any really way behind that with all the hype going on right now. So, as Dustin said, Ridley to the moon. So I'll take it. My problem is I'm a sucker for a deal. Like I'd rather just have Christian Kirk for a few rounds later. So Christian Kirk didn't go in this draft until the 5'10. So Ridley at 3.5 or Christian Kirk at 5'10. Like I'll take Christian Kirk at 5'10. Ideally not so much like Brokaw in my, as my wide receiver 1 or 2, I guess technically with Kelsey, but yeah, I mean there's definitely upside there with Ridley and I want a piece of that. So We got GZ reporting from Bucks camp. So he said he went to Bucks camp this morning. Baker's looking more comfortable. Evans practicing pads, looking good. GZ's your biggest Mike Evans fan. If he's in a draft, he's probably drafting him. I know he drafted him every draft that I've been in. Basically, he's taken him. I've seen him get him as low as the 7th. I've seen him take him as early as the 5-6 turn at the 5-1 out of the 1 spot. I know GZ's real big on him. Again, I prefer Godwin. I just think it's more within his wheelhouse. We've seen Jarvis Landry be relevant back when he was in the Browns, and that was a slot receiver there. So I think, Godwin could have that type of potential. Evans, I'm still not quite sold. I'd like to see a couple connections, maybe in preseason or something like that. That could definitely change my mind. But as of now, also because I kind of got burned by him last year, and ended up sitting him in his 3 or 4 touchdown game or whatever that was because he hadn't done anything for me all year. So yeah, I'm a little butthurt about that, and that happens, man, because it's fantasy football, and it's okay for me to do that. But I'm not going to tell you not to draft him just because he screwed me. If he didn't screw you, go ahead and take him. I'm just not. I can't do it. I need a year off. I need a year off from him. So there you go. Where else are we at? Rafi's chiming in saying he's reading that Trask is also looking good and making comfortable with his reads. So again, just it's a tough, it's a tough situation, man. It really is. At the quarterback position there, I love the guys, man. I love Evans. I mean, I drafted him last year. I literally had Godwin and Evans on my team last year because I couldn't pass up the Godwin value when he kept falling and falling, and I got him in like the 7th or 8th coming off the ACL. But also another reason why I'm not taking guys off the ACL. Didn't score a touchdown, came out, got the hamstring injury, didn't even score a touchdown till like week 10 or 11. I had both of them on my team. Nobody wanted him, couldn't trade him. I was just kind of stuck and trying to decide which one to play, and the offense wasn't good enough to play both of them like I thought they would, to ball out and try to send, Brady out on another Super Bowl win. It just didn't quite happen for me there. So you win some and you lose some, but either way, it's all good, man. Sneaky guys like Chase Edmonds and Devin Tompkins have been impressing too. So not gonna lie, full disclosure, I've taken some Chase Edmonds in my best ball teams as my 18th round pick. You never know. Things happen, but I do like Rashad White over there. Let me know, GZ, how Rashad White's doing. So let's see. So Big Lock says he likes Dotson more than Cooper. Allen's a vet and great when healthy. Doesn't believe age is a factor this year. So I agree with everything there except for Dotson over Cooper, but I do like all three. So I'm not gonna hate that. So yeah, Big Lot saying nice with the insider over here in GZ. So good stuff there. Randy Miller's asking Cup or Bijan at the 101. Or I'm sorry, at the 108. Cup or Bijan at the 108. That is a tough decision. If Cup falls to me at the 108, I think I have to take that chance. Although I've been trying to tell myself lately, like, just take more of a safer pick in the first round. Like, don't take so much risk, like, right out of the gate. But sometimes that's how you win or lose. Again, if you're not first, you're last. So with the way wide receivers are going, man, if you can get Cup to fall to you at the 8th, that's tough, man. But in all reality, in a standard redraft league, like, we're not talking best ball, big tournament, best ball mania 4, anything like that. Shout out to underdogfantasy.com, promo code GetRight. I think I go Bijan, man. So if I'm at the 108, I'm looking at Cup or Bijan. Let me get Bijan, and then I'll figure out, what I'm going to do from there because, you're going to get that turn. You'll still get a decent, wide receiver. I'd love to have like Bijan, Devontae Adams versus like Cooper Cup and like Ramondre Stevenson or something. Maybe Derrick Henry I'd like, but, I mean, I'd rather take Bijan and get whoever that other wide receiver is coming to you in the second. So good question. Wilson saying Cooper dealt with plantar fasciitis, which kind of scared him. But again, he still played, got through it. Tim said Elijah Moore is just another guy. I know he's not big on him. Going back to that Elijah Moore talk up there. Dustin said he's not the expert, but it's hard to pass on Cup if he's there at 108. So you saw me struggling with that, man. We got Mr. Bakeslaw asking about what the format is. Full PPR. I still think Bijan, especially if it's full PPR. Man, I mean, that's so tough though. You asked me before this latest hamstring, I probably would have said Cup for sure. But yeah, at that 108, I feel confident with the wide receivers coming back to me. And I just like that potential upside with Bijan there. I mean, he should eat. That's the kind of guy you want to get. So Wilson's just clarifying the plantar fasciitis for a while, which scared him from taking him, but now he seems to be good. So Randy's saying it's 12 team, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex. Yeah, especially since it's not 3 wide receiver, then I would definitely feel even more confident going Bijan there. Let's see. I remember buying Dustin saying I remember buying an Amari Cooper jersey 1 week before the trade rumors came out. So that's a tough situation there. And we all know Dustin's Cowboys fans, for those of you guys who don't know. Let's see, who else we got here? Do I like Judy at cost? Yeah, I have him on, I think 2 of my Dynasty teams. He went here at the 411, wide receiver 2 off the board, 411, late 4th round. I think that's a decent pick. In between London, Moore, Brandon Ayuk, right before or right after D-Hop. I think that's a perfect spot for him. I would definitely take him right there. Big Slot said he'd take Bijan. So at least we got somebody agreeing with me. I don't feel too bad now. At least one person said. Who else we got? Let's see. Yeah, Double Digits watching the show, man. Make sure you guys are liked and subscribed. There it is. We got Dim Boys with the Deadzone Fantasy Show coming up. He's brewing it up, so hopefully that'll be coming soon. And Dustin said, Ant, Skip needs a co-host, and I think we need to nominate you. I wouldn't mind. I feel like I could go head-to-head with Skip Bayless. I'd probably just shut down and just shake my head. I don't know if I could be as good as Shannon Sharp, but, hey, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind at all. That'd be fun. All right, man. So I guess we're up to date here. I guess we let it go far enough. Let's announce these top 3, go through these teams, and let's get out of here for tonight. And we'll see you guys back here on Friday. Again, this mock draft semifinal round tournament is what we're reviewing here tonight, and we're now going to announce the top 3. So here we go. All right. So coming in 3rd place, and I think all these 3 guys have been in the chat here tonight. So hopefully you're still watching if you guys were here. In 3rd place, moving on to the Get Right Fantasy mock draft Tournament of Champions finale is the one, the only Mr. Tim, drafting out of the 2 spot here, FF Rez from the Fantasy Frontline that you can find here on Get Right Fantasy, coming in hot with the number 3 consensus ranked team. Congratulations, my guy. Hopefully you're still here in the chat. You were contributing earlier. Hopefully you didn't leave before it got good. But congratulations. You'll definitely get the invite coming, man. But he drafted here at the 102, goes McCaffrey instead of Chase, which was interesting. But again, in redraft, half PPR, definitely a doable thing. He goes Olave here at the 211, followed by Josh Jacobs at the 302. I personally think Jacobs is going to play. Maybe he doesn't. I still think it's a good pick here, but we shall see. We were just talking about Judy. He gets as his wide receiver 2 here at the 411. Gets Brandon Ayuk, who I'm fine with as a wide receiver 3. Of course, he gets his guy, Deontay Johnson. It's usually a race between Tycoon, Classic Mike, and Tim. Who's going to grab Deontay Johnson first. So not a bad wide receiver core there. Grab Skittle, as I believe the tight end 6 off the board here. So not bad value there with Kittle. Obviously, question marks there with the quarterback and so many mouths to feed on that offense. But I love the guy personally as a fan of the team, fan of the guy. So I wouldn't mind having him on my team to root for. Grabs a nice guy. Antonio Gibson here is his RB3. We're hearing all the rumors. Oh, he's a great pass catching running back. Like, duh. We thought he was going to be CMC light 2 years ago. So maybe this is finally everything coming to fruition this year. I think not. If it was, he'd be drafted higher. But at least all the hype's gone now. You're able to get him as a RB3, RB4 on some teams. So definitely in this build, I like him as a wide receiver 3, or I'm sorry, as a running back 3. He gets Dak Prescott here late at the 902, followed by Tyler Algier. Nice little handcuff in case anything were to go wrong with Bijan. We've seen Algier in this offense and put up decent numbers, even though he doesn't have great breakaway speed. Still had a lot of long runs and kind of quote unquote what they would define as explosive plays, long scoring touchdowns. But just, a guy that I believe put up 1,000 yards last year. I unfortunately traded him for Ken Walker, but think it was a good move. I had to throw a couple picks on there. We won't talk about that NYG guy, but still not a bad guy there. He gets Schultz as his tight end too. Maybe a little early to dip into the tight ends there, but I can see why. At that time, guys like Lazard, Myers are kind of coming off the board there. We'll see what happens. You get Marvin Mims, who, of course, with the Tim Patrick injury, the only thing I don't quite like about that was having the stack with Judy and Mims, but you're kind of making that, consolidated bet that, one of these guys and or two of them could break out, or maybe Russell Wilson throws for 4,000 plus yards and, 29 to 35 touchdowns maybe. And if so, then Mims should get, a pair, a part of that. So maybe he can be a spot start guy, or if Judy does go down, kind of like a little handcuff for him to come in. So we'll see. Just trying to help you out there, Tim. I like to pick individually, just not with the Judy stack, without Russell Wilson, I guess. But maybe that's more best ball minded. Gus Edwards, not bad. RB2 behind J.K. Dobbins there. We don't know how the Dobbins situation is going to play out. I personally think he's going to play, just like Saquon and everybody else. Hopefully he's going to play. Only Lev Bell didn't. So I'm just going to go on the side of the numbers and history there and say they're both going to play. But again, not a bad offense to be RB2 on. And then takes a long shot on Kyler Murray here. Gets him as your last pick. I don't mind that. We were kind of talking about it on the stream on Friday. You could throw him in your IR spot. Go grab another guy off the waiver. Second to last pick. It's not much, there. But the potential upside, if he does come back, I just personally don't think he comes back. But for me, it's kind of that's on that. So either way, it didn't deter too many folks. Still placed number 3 here. For me, you actually came in as my second place team on this one, Tim. So I guess I had a big part of that. It was Dustin's number 1 ranked team. So congratulations to you there. And welcome to the final, man. So there you go. What else we got here? Saw the chat kind of going off. Everyone saying congrats. So congrats to Tim. Tim saying yes, sir. So he is still here. Perfect. And everyone saying congrats. He said, I thought I was top 2, but not 2. But he'll take it though. So yeah, so it doesn't matter. As long as you're top 3, you're still in the dance. You still got a chance at my $50. So there you go, man. Dustin, like he said, and I revealed it. It was his number 1. So I got you there. And let's see. The last person actually first in this case in the best ball league. I don't know if I read that. Last person was actually first this case in the best ball league. I don't know what that means, but that's okay. And yeah, of course you're allowed to say that. It's your ranking. So absolutely you could say that. I tell them in the chat who ranked for who. So don't think this is a secret. If the people ask who voted what, I'm telling them. The only problem is you guys can't defend yourself, so I won't let them, say anything. I only say from my perspective, this is where I'm at. But you guys know, you see the spreadsheet. We all disagree, so it's all good. Mr. Bakes a lot. Kyler Murray as his QB2 is a no-no. So that was, you heard me say that. That's kind of how it was. He said, appreciate Ant, Mike, Frank, and Dustin. So yeah, man, we appreciate you, man. Great team. I think you got a good one. And you guys saw like most of the other ranked teams were more on that back end. I think I kind of prefer teams that are built on that back end of the draft. It's hard to, get a team here in the front end, but you did it well. Tim was just saying, yeah, Kyler was kind of a bad pick. DB disagrees with you. He's saying it is. But just like you said, he's a waiver guy in the last round. So it's whatever. And again, if you can throw him in your IR spot, Frank said it, that's a pro move. That's what pros do. You draft that guy, throw him in your IR spot, and then go grab a guy that you might have drafted in that spot anyway, just to kind of secure yourself that person. So yeah, so well done. Congratulations again, man. Third place. We'll see you on September 1st. All right. So we'll move on here to second place. So with second place here, where did this guy draft? He drafted here kind of in the middle of the draft. In a nice spot. Builds a nice team. We were kind of talking about it on Friday. We just felt it was pretty balanced and everything else. So for the most part, I can't argue with what he did. The guys he picked, there's a couple guys maybe I disagree with. But for the most part, I think actually one of the few people that actually made all I guess that's made all three of our all four of our lists, including a first place vote from Classic, and he was my third ranked team for me. But overall comes out here and locks up the number 2 spot along with an invite to the September 1st finale, and that's the one, the only Rafi Bomb. So congratulations, Rafi. Drafting here out of the 5 spot with AJ Brown goes Ramondre Stevenson, grabs Calvin Ridley, who we've been talking about here this show, gets Miles Sanders as his RB2. So just wide receiver, running back, just kind of alternates that until he with Godwin and then Swift as his RB3. Then he, double taps wide receiver here with Pickens and Flowers. Because again, it is a 3 wide receiver league. So eventually you do want to get those wide receivers in there before you hit that kind of wide receiver dead zone there. I don't mind those 2 picks. Pickens, he has talent. We'll just see what Pickens can do. We were talking about him earlier. If he's worth that late first. In Dynasty, Zay Flowers, who I'm starting to, grow on a little bit. I'm more of a Bateman fan, and I'd rather get Bateman later. So that's why I'm usually not taking Flowers. They were kind of going back to back until he had that little setback or injection or whatever it was, which I like because then it just shot him down the draft boards and really gave me the opportunity to get him late. Gets P. Ryan here, which I think is a steal as an RB4 here at the 9.5. So that's good. Finally grabs his tight end here in Cole Kmet. We could potentially even waited a little more on that. But grabbed him here in the 10th, which isn't bad. Grabs Rodgers here in Rodgers in the 11th. 2-time, 3-time MVP. Can't really argue with him. Has weapons over there at the Jets. Good defense. We'll see what numbers he can kind of put up. Still kind of an unknown, but does get a backup here. Russell Wilson, again, coming off questionable year, but got good value with these guys. And kind of has backups, kind of doing that streaming quarterback thing if he really needs to. And then gets Sam Laporta here as a tight end 2, and then Jalen Hyatt kind of right in the middle of all that as a potential upside wide receiver there as his wide receiver 6. So well done, Rafi. Nice team, well balanced. Guys that we like. Some guys we don't for the most part, but I think overall, I try to take my personal bias out of it and just kind of see. Well, no, I don't. My personal bias is definitely in it when I'm ranking it. But overall, I think it was a well put together team, and I think the 4 of us obviously agreed on it since you came out as number 2. So congratulations. Hopefully you're still here. Maybe you're still dealing with little Chalupa Batman. You were here earlier, but maybe you'll watch this later and check it out. So again, congratulations. Welcome to the Mock Draft Tournament of Champions. You are one of the best drafters that we have here. Made it through 2 rounds into the finale. Now your chance to take home that $50. Let's see. Jeezy said, I've dusted off the GRFN got left out listener league for those of us on the outside looking in. So awesome thing that Jeezy did. Our first year we did our listener league. We had so many people that wanted to get into it and have a chance to play against us. He went ahead and started a second league. Not all of us are in it, just myself. So you get to play against myself and Jeezy. But 10 other people who don't happen to get in the listener league that we're going to do that drawing for next Friday. If you don't make it in that, there's still kind of a second chance to at least come play against me. If you disagree with me a lot and think you can come beat me, then we'll put it to the test. And same thing in that league. $0 entry to get in. And I put up $50 of our own here, get right dollars. Well, they're actually US dollars. And so if you can beat me, then whoever does, or not just beat me, but if you guys all collectively stop me from getting first place, then you can have my $50, whoever's number 1. So again, winner take all, $50, $0 buy-in. Make sure you guys are connected with Jeezy, or just make sure you watch on the 18th when we're giving out those. Usually that weekend he'll get the Got Left League going, and we're usually drafting those slow drafts simultaneously. So should be a lot of fun. So appreciate you doing that, Jeezy. Again, running his own charity tournament, then comes out here and basically runs a charity tournament for Get Right. We're all just degenerates out here, man. We just love ourselves some fantasy football, man. Mr. Bakes a lot. Is this super flex? No, it's not super flex. That's why you're not seeing like those run quarterbacks going in the first. So there's just one QB, but you got a lot of guys here taking, the double quarterbacks, which to me is fine. You're fine either one or the other. So Dustin said, Ant, let me match it $50 on top of yours if we get 1,000 subs. Oh, snap. Well, there you go. Is that for the listener league? Is that for the Got Left league? Is that for the tournament? Like, what are we talking? Are we talking all three? I'm gonna double all of them? What are we doing? We're like 60 away from 1,000, so this is really doable, guys. So hit that subscribe button, and we might be doubling our prizes here. So we'll see. So Rafi's all for it. Oh, there you go. He's still here. Congratulations, Rafi, man. Second place. Now that I know you're here. So Rafi does it again. There it is. Rafi picked Laporta just to make it on Classics list. So well done. I think you did place first for him. Yep. You were Mike's first place team. So again, you guys watch the show. You pay attention to who we like in our conversations. You draft certain guys. We're not gonna put you down if you have guys that we love, man. So he hit he was going for Classic on that one and caught me and Dustin and Frank up with him. So congratulations, man. Dustin and Frank didn't fall for it as much, but you definitely got me and you definitely got Classic on that one to get that second place, man. So congratulations. Let's see. Nobody stopped you and Got Left year one. Magoats dethroned you year two. So yeah, so that's the best part about this is he did start the Got Left Out league, and I took it down the first year. So it was like taking candy from a baby. So I had to, I had to lay low the second year. I let somebody else get it, or else no one would want to play against me. But right now, I got to just come back this year and take it again, just to let everybody know, like if I'm gonna play, I'm gonna win. That's just what we do. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I did take it down the first year, so that was awesome. And our own Magoats here from the Check Down podcast here on Get Right Fantasy took it down last year. So a lot of fun. I appreciated the guys that were in that league. It was a good league. So can't wait to run them back this year, man. What else did Bakes a Lot say here? Carlos should be back by the time Prescott starts declining. So in retrospect, it's not bad for the last pick in any format. So Bakes a Lot. I love the Cowboy hate right there. So congratulations. Let me know who you are, like on Sleeper. Actually, anybody who's in here on the stream right now, we got 12 people. Either DM me if you don't want to put it in the live chat. And I know one of them's Dustin, so I guess the other 11 people that are watching. If you guys are interested in getting in this Lister League, we're doing a drawing, like I said, on the 18th. Just hit me with the hashtag. Actually, no, just DM me on Sleeper at Rastafari, and you can find it down in the description if you want an entry into the Listener League for being here on the live stream. An hour, 17 minutes in. You're still here with me. Hit me up. Either DM me on Sleeper, DM me on Twitter. Leave a comment or something. I'll try to reach out to you. Drop your Sleeper handle, and I'll make sure I get you guys an entry into the Listener League drawing. Not into the league, but into the drawing to get a spot into the Listener League. So there we go. Dustin said we'll talk offline. So I try to get it for you guys. I try to double all the prizes, but we're talking about one. We'll decide which one and let you guys know. But there we go. All right, man. So without any further ado, I guess I've been dragging. I thought I was going to do a short show tonight, just being here by myself, but we're pushing almost our hour 30 like we normally do. But appreciate it, man. That's what I'm here for, talking with the people. This is what I like. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Fredo Dynastia. He's back next week, man. What's up, Mike? How's it going? See, that's Mike. I know him. There we go. Hell yeah. So, yeah, if you want to Listener League, man, I know you got my DM. We were just DMing earlier. Hit me up. We'll get you a spot in the Listener League drawing. Anybody else here? Let me know if you guys want in. So there it is. All right. Yeah, that's pretty. What's up, man? All right. So the number one team, man. Number one team. Here we go. Yeah, that's what Jeezy said. 1:30 over there on the East Coast. People still watching. We're all degenerates, man. That's what we are for real. Like literally for real. So that's why we're here, man. All right. So for the number one team, it's probably going to seem like a setup, but probably the guy who knows all four of us more than anybody. I know he's probably never, I think he's watched, all right, we're on episode 175. I think he's watched literally all 175 live shows that we've done. This guy's done so much for the channel, and I wish it didn't come out this way. Well, I mean, I'm happy it did, but it seems like so set up that this happened. But honestly, it wasn't set up. There was no behind the scenes. This guy didn't even get first place on any four of our cards, but placed just right in there, third, basically on everybody's list. which collectively consensus got him more points than everybody else, combined. Not combined, but everybody else's total score. He had the highest by 1 point, and it's the only Wilson 27, man. Congratulations, Wilson. I mean, I seen it happen. I recounted the ballots multiple times. I double checked with the guys. Like, are you guys just doing this because it's Wilson? Like, we know he does so much. So, but you got to grade him just like a brand new person that we would give a D- to if we needed to. But apparently, he just collectively he knew how to get certain guys on the team. I guess that ended up, taking this thing down. So first place, man. Congratulations, Wilson. I said no way. Congratulations, man. You ended up first place here. Mike saying congrats. So there it is, my man. I don't know what to say. Besides, let's just go through the team and see how it turned out. So he goes Barkley, Henry right off the gate. You guys know, obviously, classic Mike, big time Giants fan. Get Saquon Barkley in the first. You guys heard me rant and rave about, Derrick Henry. So he kind of hit that. DK Metcalf, one of my guys that I'm super high on here. Gets him in the third. Not a great wide receiver one, but to me, two bell cow running backs in Barkley and Henry to go with his double hero RB build. Super high on. He smashed. Oh snap! What's up, Frank? Oh, we got Frank maybe joining us in the house right here at the end. But we got DK Metcalf hitting here, like I said, in the third. We got Debo Samuel coming off as his wide receiver 2. Obviously, I'm a Niners fan. He grabs Christian Watson as a wide receiver 3 with that potential upside there. I would have preferred, do that for me. I would have preferred Christian Kirk there in the third. Personally, especially if he was going to come back and grab Lawrence here. I think that would have just, again, he placed 4th personally on my team or on my rankings, but I think that little move there, if he could have got that Lawrence Kirk stack, would have been fantastic. But instead he goes with Ingram, so not too bad. Still gets the stack with Ingram there next. Gets Dalvin Cook, who kind of went back and forth in the comment section. If you guys look back at the show on Friday, not back and forth, but Tycoon disagreed with my take about Cook because I went on this long PSA rambling announcement about why even draft Cook in a redraft type mock like this, because it's not really giving you a good sense of what your team would actually look like, because he's either going to completely drop by the time we start doing our real drafts, or he's going to elevate depending on where he goes into a different spot. I just think taking him now is just kind of pointless. I did say wasted pick, which he quoted me on, which Tycoon, again, appreciate you watching the show and listening to every word I say so you can use it against me, which I love. So that's why we have good conversations. And then just where he lost me personally, why he didn't make it higher on my list, again, where this Cook and Tony pick right here. But news coming out today saying that he should be back for the start of the season. So for week 1, so we'll see. Grabs Damian Harris here as his RB4, who I love taking as a nice RB4, RB5. Grabs Foreman, gets DJ Chark, who I was talking about earlier, super big on. Love Goff here as a QB2 behind Lawrence. And then one of my favorite tight ends, Gerald Everett. Here's his last pick, who I usually take in the last round as well, if I'm going streamer tight end build. So just overall, like I said, he didn't wow us completely, but he was not on someone's top 6. He was just right there in the middle with everyone. So that consistency paid out. Those points added up. And congratulations, Wilson. Moving on to the Get Right Fantasy Mock Draft Tournament of Champions on September 1st. So congratulations, Wilson. And for that, I guess Frank wanted to even come on here and tell you congratulations as well, man.
Well, I had some time. I was trying to get it on here, and I was like, "Oh man, all right." So, I just want to back up what you said. I think that everybody was down on that Cook pick, or just in general, that part of the. You know what I mean? Like that's where it kind of went a little south. Everybody liked the top. Saquon and Henry, nice combo. Good wide receivers. Picks up Trevor Ingram. I mean, whatever's. I guess if he was happy with them, I could even waited for Freymuth or somebody else, or went like you're saying, streaming and even went with some younger guys and waited a little longer. But like you're saying, that's the Dalvin Cook part. And we were all like, it's still a decent team, regardless of that pick, right?
Yeah,
So we're all kind of like,
exactly.
all right, so we're going to give you that 3-3. Well, it worked out for him because, I mean, he averaged it out higher than everybody else. I mean, these are good teams, though, overall, that I
Yeah, it
was
was tough
looking
to
at. I was
grade,
like,
man. It really was.
Yeah, you had to look for faults or like somebody that you don't really care for, or they could have went with better with, or where they actually took a player. But yeah, pretty
There you go.
decent draft in here overall.
For sure. And Dustin saying Frank had some things to say, man, so he came on to say them. So I appreciate you. Ellie. I'm literally done. Like that was literally it.
Oh, I know.
We did
I
all
was
the
watching.
questions.
I was actually
Oh,
even
okay, you're watching. All right. So I'm so glad you at least popped on, man, and came on with us, so the people know you're still real. You're here. At least you got to say a little bit of your take here,
right?
and defend some of your picks, so to speak. Well, I guess you didn't really get to defend anything or
No,
elaborate on anything, but
I
you
was
guys all
agreeing
know,
to
man.
yours.
Yeah, for sure. You guys always know, man. That's why we put our contact information in the description. Make sure you guys get in there. You can add us on Twitter through Sleeper, whatever it is. You know, myself, Mike, we're probably the two that'll probably answer the most. When Frank sees his notifications, he'll probably get in there and give his 2 cents. When he has a life though, he's not a full degenerate like we are. He still has things going on in his personal life. And then Dustin, as you guys seen him here in the chat, he's always down to talk football as well. So just hit us up directly, man. It doesn't cost anything to hit us up direct. We're always available as long as we can talk. We will. Like I said, we just love doing this for you guys. We put a lot of time and effort, into this.
I want to know who's got an upcoming draft. You know what I mean? Because it is August now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people drafted actually. I don't know if you remember Seven Rings. He was like one of our original guys in year one. His draft is tomorrow.
Nice.
I don't know if you saw his post he put in the Sleeper channel about his keepers. He was asking some keeper advice and stuff that. So we were getting back to him, and so he set his keepers, and his actual draft is tomorrow night. So people, it's starting, man.
Yeah,
we're in the second week of August.
Thursday, we got some more preseason games happening. I'm excited.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. I didn't even get into that. So I got to
restart the league, set up the setting, reset the settings, get things ready. People have already given me their buy-in money.
There you go.
I haven't even asked. They've already just started.
They're just like they're here. That's how you know they're ready.
Take my money. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's go. You and I like doing that. We just keep alternating those belts, taking the money every other year. So we'll just keep doing that. So there you go. All right, man. So unless there was anything just overall, something you wanted to point out, here on you. Other than that, yeah, I'm pretty much ready to. I'm ready to sign off here. We got GZ chiming in saying, "Get Frank in the got left leg so I can clap those cheeks." You're getting called out over there. So yeah, man. So again, the got left league we have coming up. We're doing the drawing for the listener league next Friday, the 18th. So make sure you guys tune in. If you have entries, you probably know about it. If you want entries, make sure you hit me up. Send me a DM on Twitter or Sleeper, and I will get you an entry if you mention you were here on this live show. So just do that. Oh yeah, and Devontae Parker, man, that's how I took the belt from Dustin the year before. So, it's all good. You can come back. You don't want any of this smoke. I got you. Nah, that's what it's all for, man. Having fun, playing football with one another, man. This is what we're here for. Yeah, that's my belt. He's just keeping it warm for me.
Yeah,
he got it. Got it flashing on me every time. I know. I still got to update that thumbnail. I got to tell Mike we can't use that thumbnail anymore. So got to update the thumbnail. He's going to have to Photoshop me a belt like Dustin's belt is Photoshopped on there. All right. Yeah. Oh, I took a dig there for D. All right, man. So we'll get out of here, man. Before we do, of course, we got to thank another one of our sponsors, man. We got TrophySmack.com.
Yeah.
If you guys want to take your league to the next level, man, make sure you check out. They got your Kirk Cousins chain. You got your trophy, your standard trophy, all different types of trophies. They're all interchangeable. That's really cool about them. Always going to add to them as you go. Of course, like Frank showed off there, they got their championship belts, man. My personal favorite. And one of these that I think we're going to do for the Get Right Dynasty League, man, that we started year one of this show with our OGs, the guys that got us, our first subscribers, man, that got us going. Couldn't be here without those guys, man. Love that league. One of my favorite leagues to be a part of. Just chat nonstop and all day. Just love being a part of it, man. So we might throw a ring for only $12 per person on a. I think it's less actually. I think it's only like $7 or $8 per person on a 12-person league. You guys can get yourself one of these bad boys, and it's fully customizable as far as that goes. So make sure you guys check it out. The link is in the description. Make sure you use that promo code GetRight when you check out, and they'll take care of you there. So
I got to check to see if they got that plate. Did you see that thing I sent you the other day?
no, I didn't.
So
The license plate. Yeah. No, that's what we have for the
plate.
Get Right. Hey, so that's what we have for the Get Right Listener League. The last place person on that had the license plate saying that they suck at fantasy football. So, which I think
awesome.
might have been me. I think I'm supposed to be sporting that right now.
Uh-oh.
I think I got last in the Listener League last year. That was tough. I had a rough year in that league last year, but either way. All right, so there we go. So with that said, man, so we talked about trophies back there. Oh yeah, of course we got to thank our other guys over here, man. Our affiliate channels, their links are also in the description. Make sure you guys go support them. Throw them a subscribe. You'll get Tim, who was in the chat here, who got third place with us here. The Fantasy Frontline, him and AJ. I know we'll be dropping content here soon, getting closer to the season. Tim does a lot of Dynasty stuff as well. So if you guys, have any questions about that, he's a definite source that I go to with those questions, except for the leagues that I'm in him with. I can't really talk to him about it there. And then we got, of course, Cody McGoats, who you guys all saw, took me down in the Got Left Out League last year. Him and Shirtless Pat and the fellas there at the Checkdown Podcast. And then, of course, Adam, you guys know him as Dim Boys for life over here with his Deadzone fantasy show. Hopefully starting up here soon. Definite welcome to the channel. So help us help them grow, help us help them. Great content, great guys you should be listening to, and big time contributors here to the Get Right Fantasy Network. So again, can't thank you guys enough. Hopefully guys go out and help support them just like you have us. Other than that, man, if there's anybody else out there that is interested in starting your own show, maybe you're interested in getting into being a podcast, maybe you want to come be a guest on here or be part of Get Right. Maybe you want to do some writing, being a producer behind the scenes, whatever it is. If you're interested, you want to become a part of it, hit me up. Like I said, we have our ambassadors that help with, some of that stuff here now. And then some of those ambassadors have turned into, connections and people that we've had here on the channel as well, or we've helped start their own show, just like Dem Boys. So again, if you guys are interested in any of that, you can reach out to me at getrightff at gmail.com, or again, just send me a DM through Sleeper or Twitter, and we'll have that conversation. So other than that, man, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add? Or are you ready to get out of here?
Nah, that was a good show, man. Good shit.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you jumping on with me here at the end. Make me feel like I didn't talk the entire time. But I can't say I didn't like it either. Yeah. Can't say, I mean, I did kind of enjoy it. I'm not going to lie. But it is much better having you and Classic and Dustin here with me, man, when we can. Or just having
I'll be here next week, man. We'll figure it out. We got some games to be talking about next week. At least some preseason's happening. Something's going on. For sure. We're just in a weird little dead spot, but it's going to start popping off starting next week. Oh, yeah.
So we'll see you guys here on Friday for the round 2 semifinal mock, where these 3 will be joined by another 3 to form the top 6 that will be drafting September 1st. Again, the mock draft tournament is full this week, but I am taking people on standby. I have a list going, so if you're interested, again, hit me up. Or if the lobbies are now open for week 3, so next week is already open. So if you haven't already, make sure you go grab a spot there to secure your spot. And there it is. So we'll land this plane. We'll get out of here, man. For Dustin, who is in the chat, for Classic Mike, who's dealing with his house closing, getting moved over there. He's hoping he can be back here with us on Friday. For, of course, Frank right here with me, who came and joined me here again. Again, can't thank you guys all enough for what you do. So let's land this thing and let's get out.
White fantasy is the play. Marking nothing but I tune every Friday. Strategies provided.